Hi all, this is one more time an endgame study by Reti, and he composed this one with the same idea of the previous one that I showed you. The task here is for white to play and hold a draw. So if you want to try to solve this yourself, please pause the video now, because otherwise I'll tell you the solution. Okay, so let's have a look at what's happening here. Again, we see this pass pawn of white on c6 and the black king on a6, and black has these three pawns here, three connected pass pawns on the other side, and the first move of white is king to g6. Now black tries to capture the white pass pawn by playing king to b6, and white takes now on g7. And at first sight this might look like a mistake, because if you take on g7, then one of the other of the passed pawns can start running. Well, let's have a look first what would happen if the h pawn would start continuing here. Then white takes on f6, and if black continues with this pawn, of course white cannot capture this one, because if white goes to g5, then the pawn advances and it's impossible to hold it. But what he can do is actually similar to what we saw before in the other study, and that is now threatening to defend his own pawn. So if black now advances, we see the same idea of king to d6, and if black advances again, then we continue with c7 and promote on c8. If black wants to prevent this first, then of course we go to d7 with the king, controlling the c8 square, the promotion square. So here we have a draw, both pawns promote at the same time. Now let me go back to this position, because also another possibility, and actually it's more or less the same idea. If black tries to advance the f pawn, then again king goes to f6. So here we don't capture on h6, because the main plan of white is not to capture the black pawns only, but to threaten to defend his own pawn, so to threaten to advance his own pawn. So here king to f6 is the best move, actually the only good move. f4 by black, and now again king to a5, threatening to take on f4 and also threatening to go to d6 to defend his own pawn. Now what if here black plays h5? Then of course it's very simple, we take here on f4, and after that we'll capture this h pawn and it will be a draw. So that means that black would not achieve anything by playing h5. So the best try for black is to play f3, and then we see something that we actually have seen before, king to d6, defending his own pawn. If f2, then c7, and if then black queens, then white queens as well. And in this position white can hold a draw, because white can give a perpetual check. For example, if queen to f4 check, king to d5. If now black tries to advance his pawn by playing h5, then white can give a perpetual check, and there is no way for the black king to get away from these checks of white. So it's impossible, and then the game is drawn. So I hope you liked this, let's say, variation. It's just a little more complicated variation of the first endgame study that I showed you with the two pawns, one white and one black, and this time it's just a little variation of that. And Reti was playing actually with the same theme, composing different endgame studies with the same idea of a king that has a double threat, the threat of preventing the pawns of the opponent to promote, and also supporting his own pawn to threaten promotion. So okay, I hope you found this interesting, and I'll see you next time on YouTube. Thank you.